I came home early on our anniversary and caught my husband in our bed with someone else. My husband once convinced me soulmates weren't real, and for a while, I thought he was right. We met when we were 5, 2 kids on the same block, and we grew up glued together. By 18, we were married, and everyone said we were that perfect couple. I believed them. 7 years later, on our anniversary, I came home early with takeout and walked straight into our bedroom and found him in our bed with someone else. I didn't scream. I didn't even move at first. He looked up like he'd seen a ghost, and the girl yanked the sheet up to her chest. My hands were shaking so bad, I dropped the bag on the floor. I backed into the bathroom, sat on the tile, and called my best friend. When she arrived, she didn't ask questions. She grabbed a duffel, threw in whatever she could reach, and pulled me out while he kept talking through the door. I never heard what he said because my ears were ringing. The divorce dragged for 8 months. His parents begged me to think about what we had. Mine said, do what you need to do. I signed the papers, and then I fell apart anyway. For 2 years, I did therapy, cried in parking lots, canceled plans, and stared at my ceiling. I boxed up our wedding photos, opened the box again, then slammed it shut like it burned. Even dumb things got me, like seeing his favorite cereal and having to leave the aisle. When I could finally breathe without feeling like I might choke, my friend pushed me back into dating. I tried hard. I went on 31st dates in 2 years, and every time I caught myself searching for the old warmth I used to get for free. Nobody had it, and I'd drive home feeling empty and annoyed at myself for hoping. Then my friend set me up with a guy she swore was different. Our first dinner was the worst. He asked me exactly 2 questions about myself, then spent the rest of the night talking about my work like he was giving a report. No big smile, no leaning in, just calm, polite, hard to read. I got in my car and told my friend I'd rather stay single. 2 days later, he called and asked to take me out again. I almost said no, but my friend begged me to give him one more shot. The second date was a little better. He asked more. He actually smiled. By the 4th date, I realized he wasn't trying to impress me, and that's what threw me. He showed up as himself, steady and quiet, and he didn't pretend to be louder just to win me over. Around date 5, I noticed he remembered small things I said without making a big deal out of it. On our 6th date, we spent the night together, and after we were lying there, I said I was hungry. He told me to stay put, grabbed his keys, and left. 20 minutes later, he came back with orange chicken from the Thai place nearby. I laughed and asked how he picked that. He said, you mentioned it on the 3rd date. You said it's the one thing that makes you feel better after a rough week. I just stared at him, holding the warm bag in my hands. My ex had known me since childhood and couldn't tell you what I liked to eat. This guy had known me 6 weeks and had filed it away like it mattered. That night didn't erase the hurt, but it cracked something open. I stopped trying to rebuild my old marriage in a new body and started letting this man be who he was. Over time, he told me pieces of his life. His parents struggled with addiction, and he lost both of them before he was 20. He learned early that if you want something done, you do it, and you do it without drama. It showed up in small moments, even on boring days. When I got pregnant, I'd wake him at 2 in the morning for cravings or sore legs. He never acted mad, never sighed, just got up and helped and went back to sleep. A few years into our marriage, my anxiety flared up again, and one evening he came home, set a card on the counter, and said, I found someone you might like. It was a therapist who worked with people after betrayal. I hadn't asked him to look. He just noticed I was slipping and did something about it. Last year, out of nowhere, my ex's mom messaged me again. You ruined him, she wrote, like he didn't make his own choices. My chest tightened the way it used to, and for a second, I could taste that old panic. Then I looked at the screen, took a slow breath, and typed, please stop contacting me. She started typing back right away, and I didn't wait to see it. I hit block, set my phone down, and walked into the living room. My husband looked up and said, you okay? I sat beside him and said, yeah, I am now.